My name is Jerry Coughlin, and today we're going to show you some safety tips and some spreading guidelines and piling for solid manure. We're going to be spreading this field for Dale Ramsey, and we'll be doing it at 3 ton per acre. And the capacity of the spreader varies depending on the density of the product. Today we'll be spreading, they'll probably be 12 to 13 ton load. It varies depending on the product. The decision for the quantity of application was determined by the owner. He went off of his soil test and determined that because of phosphorus levels, he only wanted 3 ton per acre instead of the customary 4 we do. But he's had turkey manure on here before, so his phosphorus levels are getting higher. So we are backing off this year and going 3 ton instead of the standard 4. Today we're standing in front of a pile of turkey manure that is approximately 210 ton here. How long it sits varies somewhat on county regulations. Steele County happens to have a 6-month pile, and that's all the longer a pile should sit. This particular pile has only been here a little over 3 months, I believe, and some of it has to do with the timing, has to do with when the producer cleans his barns. When he gets rid of his birds, he's only got probably a week to get ready for the next flock, so that is what really determines when and how long a pile sits. As far as a safety issue with a pile, we have had in the past where you get really big piles. You have to kind of undermine it to get it to collapse, and you want to make sure that you don't dig out too much underneath so that the pile actually comes down on a skid loader. We bring it out in tandem trucks. When a tandem truck is full, depending on the weight, we're usually pretty close. It can weigh between 11 and 13 ton if it's full. For safety or for environmental, you should be 50 feet off the road or the ditch. You gotta be 300 feet from any inlets, drainage ditches, waterways that lead to a drainage ditch, and any sinkholes and the environmentally sensitive areas. Piece of equipment behind me is a conveyor that we use to load the turkey manure into the spreaders. It's got chains and gas engine. You want to be careful when you're around the shafts, the moving shafts and things on the conveyor, that if you have loose clothing or anything that doesn't get wound up in it, because that would not be good. We'll set the conveyor up to the manure pile, and it'll be based off where the sun is located at that time, and also wind direction. Hopefully you can get both to align so the operator isn't looking into the sun when he's going into the stockpile or loading the conveyor, because the sun you get reflections and you can hit stuff. And then it also, with the material, depending on the weight and density, you can get some really light stuff and it's fine, and you can get the shaft from the turkey manure to go in radiators and stuff, so you plug them and then you're down because of overheating. So we try and get the wind to be blowing away from everything. In the fall we have long days, and like every other farmer or any other agribusiness, we just try and make sure that, take care of yourself and make sure you have enough energy to go the next day. As a site manager, I'm talking to my crew, and you can kind of tell one person's getting a little tired, more tired than the other one or something. So we kind of have a policy: when somebody says, "I'm done," we're done, and that's all there is to it. And so far it's worked well, and we're not here to push it to the end. Yeah, we work long days, but if somebody's tired, we'll quit. It's not worth somebody getting hurt over. For emergency preparedness, depending on the situation, we have fire extinguishers, 911, know where your whereabouts, so if you have to give information to an emergency crew, you can do that. Know road numbers, if there's a house, you might think, you're not noticing things when you're out in the field, but every once in a while you notice that house number when you're across the road, and it sticks in your mind. So, just kind of be aware of and your surroundings, make, topography of the land, and cell phone. We always have cell phones on us, and so that helps. And with the new iPhones and stuff, finding out where you are if you don't know is real easy. It tells you right away. So modern technology helps a lot. For safety purposes and planning, I do have the county feedlot officer and the Minnesota duty officer in my phone. I also have it in the tractors. I talked to my county feedlot officer about sometimes setbacks. In particular, I'm going to be applying a field that is not going to be incorporated this fall, so I talked to Dan to make sure he was on, which is our county feedlot officer, that he was on board with that farm having it spread and left on top. And I also contacted him to let him know, hey Dan, I'm going to be in this area for this week. If you got any questions, call. It takes constant communication with me and the producer and actually the feedlot officer to let him know that I'm in the area. And there's just it's almost like a whole network. And you all have to, I guess, get along and work together to get everything and have everything work smoothly. When we have somebody new starting, actually we try and let them ride with somebody for probably 2 or 3 days. I know it's probably boring for them. And just be aware of your surroundings. You know, if you're on the road, you know, watch for traffic behind you. If you're, you know, just be always thinking. Don't be texting and just because you got the auto steer texting or doing a Google search. The work that, you know, manure applicators do, it comes down to the bottom line. You know, it helps people raise good corn. I've never had anybody that go, oh, my corn was, you know, worse because of manure. They always sit there and say they can, you know, even if they didn't apply it on a field for 4 or 5 years later, they always go, I see the benefits, I see the difference. And it all comes full circle. If they can get more corn from applying manure, it means we'll have more corn for ethanol and feeding America's livestock. Then it makes it cheaper for food for, I guess, the world to eat.